Hello, welcome to demo lecture of the program Python programming. So today we will discuss lists, Python lists. So first of all, to declare a list, we need to do something like this, that is list name, my empty list for example, and then assign as empty square bracket. This will do list declaration. Okay, so we are going to use an empty list, and when printing variable name and type of it, we get something like this, that is empty list and type is class integer. Now if you want to initialize it with some values, then we can do something like that, that is list name is equals to and then comma separated values into the square bracket, there is 1 2 6 and 7. So this particular list will have 4 members and the members are all integers, which is 1 2 6 and 7, the length of which is 4. List of miscellaneous, that is we can even give different kind of constants into it. For example, 0.2 is float, 5 is integer, Python is till fun and explanation, these are string. So we can give all of them variety of data types into same list. Now printing the length, we can use the length function. The length function will return the length of the list, that is number of elements in a list. So for the first list it is 4 and for the second list it is 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Okay, so this is basically just getting started to list, that is creating empty list or creating list with populated values. Now to access a list member, that is 1 5 Python, these are called as list members. To access them, there is a procedure something like this. For example, my list is a list of strings with strings as Python is still cool. To access the first element, we can do something like this, that is my list, and in square bracket we put the index of it, and the index of Python is 0, because in list index starts with 0, that is 0 is the index of Python, 1 is the index of is, 2 is index of steel and 3 is index of cool. So to get the last element we can do something like this, that is by my list and 3. Now this is list basically is one dimensional, okay, for vector data address for single row or single column. Now when we have row and column, that is tabular data, then we can create two-dimensional list, that is nested list. We can achieve it by using nested list, that is each and every element of a list is list itself. For example, here you can see coordinates, we have a list of coordinates. In each and every coordinate we have elements as list. Okay, this is the first list, second list and third elements. Each and every element is also itself a list. For example, this is nesting up to 2 levels, so it is two-dimensional list, but it can be continued or the idea can be extended up to multi-level, 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional or n-dimensional in general. Now to access elements from multi-dimensional list, we can do something like this, that is, for example, we want to access the first element whole, okay, all list of the first element. For example, we want to access this first point, then we can do something like this, that is coordinates and then in bracket index of that, index is 0 for the first list. So the first coordinate is 12.0 comma 13.3, which can be accessed using coordinate 0. Now to access second element of the first coordinate, this is the first coordinate, the second element of which is 13.3. To do so, for example, we are accessing the first coordinate using coordinate 0. Now to access the element, we can pass 1 to it like this, coordinate 0 and then the index of the sub list, okay, that is 1. So coordinate 0 in 1 is, this is 0 and this is 0 and this is 1. Coordinate 0 0 will return 12, coordinate 1 0 will return this, coordinate 1 1 will return this, coordinate 2 0, coordinate 2 1. Now if you want to update values or members of the list, then you can do something like this. For example, we have a list, my list, which contains 0 1 2 3 4 and 5. 6 elements. Now if you want to update the first element, that is 0 with value 99, then you can do something like this, that is access the element using mylist 0 and then assign a new value to the same, that is mylist 0 is equals to 99, and then if we print mylist, then it will print something like this, that is 99 replaced instead of 0, then 1 2 3 4 5, the other elements in the list remains the same. Now instead you want to delete some element, for example you want to delete the first element, that is that the element that was 0 initially, then we updated it to 99 and now we want to delete it. Then you can do this by doing this command, that is del mylist 0, that is the element that we want to delete, and then after printing it you can see that it contains only 1 2 3 4 5, the first element that was 0 or 99 got deleted. Now if you want to check that whether a particular element is present or not, we might have need of it sometime. For example, before deleting an element, you can basically just want to check whether the particular element is present or not. If there is that element is present, then and only then you want to delete it. For that time you can do something like that. For example, languages is a list which contains Java, C++, Go, Python and JavaScript, these strings, and if you want to check whether Python, this particular string, is present into this list or not, then you can do something like that, that is if Python in list, that is if member in list, then do something. For example, here we are doing printing this message only, that is Python is there. Now if you want to check it reverse, that whether a particular element is not present or there, for example if 6 is not in 1 2 3 7, we can check that whether 6 is not present in a list or not. Okay, here we can directly supply a list also, take a note of it, and obviously 6 is not present, so it will return and print it. Now the next important topic is that lists are mutable, that is you can manipulate or update it as you want. For example, we have a list that is original and we had a list that is 1 2 3 into it. Now we did something like this, that is modified is equals to original, and then we updated the 0th element of the modified, that is modified 0 with value 99, and then if we print original and modified list, then the output is something like this, that is original 9923 and modified 9923. It is strange, I guess, because we only updated modified 0th element of the modified list, but what happened that the 0th element of original list also got updated. Why this happened? Because when we did this, it did not created a copy. Okay, what it did, it just assigned new alias to the original list, okay, or new name to the original list. It just gave reference to this particular list, that is from now onwards or from this point onward you can call original list using modified name also. But if you don't want to do it, if you want to create a copy, then there is a solution. You can use this particular thing, that is instead of modified is equals to original, you want to do something like this, that is modified is equals to list of original. Okay, or otherwise this is the procedure way and this is the method way, that is list name dot copy. Directly you can create copy and assign it into modified. Both of them works equally fine. Now if we do the same thing, that is modified 0 is equals to 99, updating the 0th element of the modified list, then after printing it, the original value is 1 2 3, because it is unchanged now, because we created a copy and then on copy we did updating this thing, and modified is 9923 as expected. So this is the important concept, that lists are mutable. It can be changed using reference also. Okay, and you can create copy using list procedure or copy method. Now next important method of list is append method. You can append elements to the existing list. For example, in my list I have a single element in the list, and if you want to add some random strings, for example we are adding ham, a string, to the list, then it can be done using mylist.append, and then whatever you want to append, and afterwards printing will return one and ham updated list. For example, you want to remove, then remove method comes handy. For example, my list is Python is sometimes fun, a list of 4 strings, and if you want to remove sometimes a single string, for example, then you can do it so by using this remove method. Just simply supply the string as argument, and after doing that, if we print my list, then my list contains only 3 strings, that is Python is fun. Okay, sometimes this particular element of a list is now removed using this remove method. Okay, and if you are not sure about the value is present or not, then you can first of all check it using this in keyword, that is if java in my list, that is if this particular thing is in list, then do remove, else do not remove, just print message. Another important function is sort method or sorted procedure. We have 2 various options. We will see what is the difference between them. For example, we have a numbers list which contains 5 elements, 8, 1, 6, 5 and 10, which is in random manner, you can see. Now if we apply a method numbers dot sort, that is list name dot sort, then if we print the list, then you can see the list is now 1, 5, 6, 8, 10, all numbers into ascending format. So this particular procedure, basically what it did, it sorted this list in place, that is it updated the numbers list with sorted version of the list. Now if you want to sort into reverse order, so instead of ascending, if you want to sort it into descending, then just simply pass this particular argument reverse is equals to true into sort method, so it will do reverse sorting. And it also works for alphabetic lists, that is if this is a list of words, if this is a sample example, then it can be sorted using the same method sort method only, and it will sort it into as per ASCII value alphabetically. Now this particular thing sorts the list in place, it doesn't make any copy. But if you want to create a copy, then sorted is a procedure that will do the thing. For example, I have a numbers list and I don't want to directly update the list with sorted values. Instead, I want to create a copy of it. Then you can do so using this sorted procedure list name, and the return value will be assigned to sorted numbers. So the numbers is now unchanged and sorted is having sorted list. So both of them can be helpful at times depending on the situation. Now another method is extend. This is particularly a concatenation version of the list. That is, if you have a first list and a second list, then simply first list dot extend with second list. That is the list that you want to extend, list you want to add to the list 1. And in our example, beef, ham, potatoes 1 and 3 will be into the first list, while the second list will remain unchanged. Okay, you can also do so by using the operators. That is, if in first we have 1, 2, 3, in second we have 4, 5, then first is equals to first plus second. This is the shorthand operation expanded. Then 1, 2, 3 plus 4, 5, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is into the first and second is as it was. But instead, if you want to sort the result into some another variable, then you can also do that using simple procedure, that is summed is equals to first plus second. Now the last method that we will discuss is list.reverse. For example, I have a list something like this, that is 8, 1, 6, 5, 10. But if I want to have the numbers into reverse order, that is 10, 5, 6, 1 and 8, then you can do so by using this reverse method. For example, I have my list which has A, B and ham. if I do apply this method, that is mylist.reverse, and then print it, then ham, b and a, all the elements in a reverse order. So that is it for today's lecture. Today we have discussed that how to initialize empty list, how to populate numbers or values into it, then how to access individual elements using list index, how to create multidimensional list and how to access elements of multidimensional list, how to update values, how to check whether a particular item is present into list or not, and how to modify it using this direct version or copied version of it, how to append elements into it, how to remove elements from a list, how to sort list in place using sort method, how to create a copy, create another copy of sorted list, and how to extend one list by another, and lastly how to reverse a list. So that was it. Hope it was helpful. Thank you everyone.